should dignify our feeling of loneliness is looking at Jesus on the cross. That's and right. Saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? The depths of loneliness that we really can't experience, that can't really know. He experienced it. And imagining what his life would have been like. Talk about being the only one. He really was the only one.
Yeah.
And so while he was constantly reaching out to people and really seeing them and connecting them and do the things that that are helpful in loneliness, he was doing all those things all the time, ministering to people, caring for people, sharing his heart with people. He still had to bear incredible loneliness of not only the what he was headed toward at the cross, but the perspective that he had that no one could really share.
No kidding.
And he dignifies us, but he moved toward people in their loneliness. Mm-hmm. And when we share our stories, we're friends. We talk. When we talk about what our experiences of loneliness are, they're not the same. Mm-hmm. But it's a way of moving toward each other in that. And well, this is what it feels like for me. There's common ground, there's differences, but it helps. Mm-hmm. It helps. It actually, the word that comes to mind for me, it's so hard, it takes courage. It feels like a death to reach out and say, Liz, I'm really lonely.
Yeah.
And
there is, I'd even say there is a real death there to some of your own controlling and try to fix my own. When I do offer that, I've gone from like, I have to hold this thing, it's got to be mine, to, all right, I'm putting it back under the authority of the king. This is not just mine, and you're my sister. When you're talking about even Jesus' death and his loneliness, when we think about the point he's most vulnerable, when he exposes himself for our sake, that is his death on the cross. He takes on, like, my God, why have you forsaken me, right? That ultimate, like, turning of God's back on his son, that separation, that vulnerability is for our behalf. And that's a part of what brings us hope and healing, right? So even for us, enacting that in our Christian lives, when we are vulnerable with it, when we share our stories like we're doing here with one another, I think we are participating in the death and resurrection of Jesus, in the sense of he's with us. My loneliness is not the end of my story. Mm-hmm. It's not more powerful than the resurrected Lord.
Absolutely.
Right? So you're using the word courage and bravery to share, which it's not comfortable to talk about your loneliness, but there is this participation in the sufferings of Christ, weirdly, and being united with him, that I think moves us through it. It doesn't solve it this side of the Jordan, but it sure points to where it's going to be solved, to where new heavens, new earth, God is making everything new and right. We have our real hope. Mm-hmm. So there's this participation through our vulnerability with one another. Instead of, when you share with me, I'm not trying to fix it and trying to give you the right verses to read.
Right.
There's a sharing, a moving through it and bearing together your loneliness and mine, instead of, hey, I'm going to try to fix yours when you share, or you're going to try to fix mine. We walk alongside one another in Christ.
Yeah.
In that.